What's up out there, FA Nation? I'm your host, Jen Piacenti, here today with one of my esteemed colleagues, Ryan Hallam, and we're about to engage in another edition of 3-Point Play. What's going on, Ryan?
Not too much. Middle of the week. We're getting closer to sports. Everything. It's another beautiful day outside and just ready to talk some sports and some other stuff.
It is. How was your Memorial Day weekend? Were you able to enjoy anything?
At home, yeah. They opened beaches here. I was not about that. It seemed like a recipe for crowds, which I'm not really interested in right now. So we enjoyed it out. Got some yard work, drank some beers, had some barbecue, all the good stuff.
You're still able to barbecue, so that counts, right?
Just not with a crowd. That's all.
Good stuff. Well, for those of you who haven't seen an episode of 3-Point Play, this is how it works. Ryan and I are going to talk about three specific issues or questions, which I've chosen, and then we're each going to present three arguments for our side, and then we'll decide who wins at the end of this. So pretty much that's how it goes, and it's a lot of fun. And are you ready, Ryan?
Always ready. Let's do it.
Okay. Well, just a couple days ago on the Fantasy Alarm Show, we had a roundtable with some Fantasy Alarm analysts, and Howard Bender asked us, which running back do you wish would kind of just go away? There were a lot of answers there, but I want to pose this question to you. Which wide receiver do you wish would kind of just go away?
I hate to say this one because he seems like such a good guy, but I'm going to say Larry Fitzgerald, the Arizona Cardinals, and here are my three reasons. One, he's old. I mean, he should have retired a couple of years ago, but he's still a huge part of the offense. He had 109 targets last year. It's his lowest since 2014, but 109 is still a lot. It's time to let the younger guys get theirs. This is a young offense with a young quarterback, a young head coach. He's going to take away targets from my man, DeAndre Hopkins. It stunt the growth of Christian Kirk a little bit. And they still have guys like Andy Isabella and Hakeem Butler, who missed all of last year. Keyshawn Johnson, if he can make the roster. They have a lot of potentially good young wide receivers that Larry's taken the targets away from. So it's time for him to go. Number two, he's already moving on to other things. First of all, he does interviews during the games. Who in the NFL right now, probably other guys close, but he's going to be great at working in football, whether it's as a commentator or somewhere on TV, or like he's just perfect for it. He's got the look, he's got the sound. He's great at doing it already. Like he can certainly move on to things. He's a minority stakeholder in the Phoenix Suns. Like you've gotten through your career without really any major injuries that I can think of. Just go before something happens. I like the guy. I don't want to see something bad happen to him. And the third reason, and this is going to be this one's a little selfish on my part of being a 49er fan. He's kind of close to getting to some of Jerry Rice's records. He's second in career receiving yards behind Rice, although he's pretty far behind. It's 6,000 behind. He's not going to catch him. And he's not that far away in receptions. I think he's 170 receptions behind Rice for the all-time reception leader. If he plays 2 more years, good years, possibly get there, the touchdowns. Rice at 187, Fitzgerald's at 120. So it doesn't look like he's going to get to that one either. But he's a great ambassador for the game. But for those three reasons, I'm picking Larry Fitzgerald to go away.
Okay, Ryan Hallam, president of the Jerry Rice fan club. All right. Well, my answer is going to be Jerry Jeudy.
He just got here.
I know it's rough. He just got here, and maybe I should couch this in actually, what I really want is for Jerry Jeudy to go away from the Denver Broncos. Fair. So that's really where I'm coming at from this angle. Number one, Courtland Sutton owners have got to be like, what the heck? Last year, he had 9 games with over 70 yards, and he was consistently receiving. He ended up with over 1,100 yards, and he had all kinds of different quarterbacks. So we see all this potential for Courtland Sutton. His target share was absolutely elite. He had almost 26% of the targets, and that's the 6th highest in the league last year. Meanwhile, here comes Jerry Jeudy, right? And he's going to be a target machine with the way he runs. So I'm really concerned about the fact that Courtland Sutton will now no longer have that opportunity to be in the elite range on which, in that trajectory he was going. So that's number one. Number two, I'm worried about Noah Fant Come on, this guy was drafted in the first round of the 2019 draft. And I know it took him a little bit of time to find his footing, but by the end, he was really good. He was able to haul in 40 receptions and 562 yards for 3 touchdowns. Now, again, he did not get a whole lot of targets. We know this is an issue in Denver. They don't run that kind of a scheme right now. They don't pass a lot. But he managed to take full advantage by leading all of the tight ends with 8.3 yards per catch per reception. And he ended up finishing second in yards per reception in the league. So much opportunity there for Noah Fant. And number 3, I want Jerry Jeudy to go away for Jerry Jeudy's own sake. There are so many better places for him to be. Listen, the Broncos have scored only 29 or more points once in each of the past 3 seasons. And I know that Vic Fangio and Pat Shurmur say they're going to change this, and maybe they will. They certainly went out and got a lot of weapons. But the problem is that means none of these weapons may truly be able to be stars. And we're talking about a guy who had back-to-back 1,100-plus yard seasons in his college years. So he's really, really talented. He runs great routes. I'd love to see him get to go be a star somewhere else. So if I'm going to say the one wide receiver I'd like to see just go away from the team he's on, it is Jerry Jeudy, so that everyone can benefit.
Can I play devil's advocate there?
Sure.
For just on the Cortland Sutton, my thought is a little bit, it's going to ease the defensive presence on him. Like last year, he was the only receiver on the team, and especially when Locke came in, he really only targeted Sutton. It was like the defense had 2 guys on him at all times. So maybe Jeudy actually helps him out a little bit, that maybe he sees a little bit more single coverage, or if Jeudy starts doing well, maybe some of the better corners will be on Jeudy, and maybe easing the burden up on Cortland Sutton a little, so he can still be as successful or even more successful. I mean, look at it in your team, the Cowboys, Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup. There's enough for 2 guys there. Sometimes that helps the elite guy out to have another guy there.
2 guys there, but that's a completely different kind of offense.
It is.
It's not the same. So if Cortland Sutton had 26% of the targets last year, there's no way he's going to get him this year with Hamler and Gordon also in the mix. Somebody's got to go.
So you picked the rookie.
I picked the rookie because I think for the rookie's own sake, because I think he could be a bigger star somewhere else.
Such a humanitarian.
I know, I'm such a humanitarian. So I don't know who wins this one. I think it's me because I'm the judge.
You didn't say that in the beginning.
No, I think Larry Fitzgerald actually probably fits the question better. Which wide receiver would you rather just go away? He is nearing the end of his career. The situation in Arizona obviously is getting younger and younger. The Jerry Rice argument, though,
that was selfish. I completely agree that it's 100% selfish.
Completely selfish.
He's my guy. He's my guy. Like that's what Montana was my first sports hero, but Rice is probably my favorite all-time player.
All right, then I'm gonna call this one a draw, and we're gonna move over to MLB. All right, he didn't win. I had a lot more numbers in there. Okay, number 2. Who is your early pick? Now, this is such a crazy one, right? I mean, this could go so many ways because we don't know what's going on with the MLB season, but let's assume MLB is going to start back up beginning of July. Who is your early pick for baseball's MVP?
All right, so I didn't want to go off the top 3. Fantasy baseball, everyone loves Christian Yelich, Ronald Acuna, and Mike Trout. So I'm like throwing those guys out. Because that's too easy, and it's not even fun, and what's the sense of even bringing it up on here? So there's a few guys I considered, but I decided to go outside the box a little bit and came up with some decent reasonings for it. I'm going for, this should make our producer Matt Sells happy, Juan Soto of the Washington Nationals, and here are my 3 reasons for Soto. First, he came up as a baby. He was 19 years old. He's still only 21. He's not turning 22 until October 25th, which normally would be around the World Series, but today it's, this year might be by the 40th game of the season. He's still improving. He's still getting better and coming up at such a young age. Look at a guy like Andrew Jones, who came up in a similar situation. He's got a prolific career ahead of him. He could still be even technically growing into his body. I mean, we talk about that a lot in the NBA. These guys who come in out of high school and college, and they continue to grow and put on weight and put on muscle. And I think Soto has not quite yet hit his potential as far as his physical abilities are concerned. Number 2, in just over a season and a half, I think he played 116 games his rookie year and most of the full season last year. He has 56 home runs and 180 RBIs with a career average of 287. It's really, really good. He's going to probably have to get the average over 300 to be considered for an MVP candidate. But in the minor leagues, he hit 362 during his minor league career. So the possibility is there for him to get his average up even higher. It was 292 his rookie year, 282 last year. So he's definitely a guy who still has some more potential that he hasn't quite hit. And my third reason, and this is the 2020 reason why I think he's got a shot at this year, if we go with this regional realignment where a lot of the NL East is going to play the AL East and teams around you, that means he's going to be gifted games in Yankee Stadium, Fenway Park, Camden Yards, all very good hitters' parks, and then he gets a lot of games against the Blue Jays rotation and the Orioles rotation. And let's face it, the Yankees and Red Sox starters aren't as good as they've been in years past. So instead of maybe hitting some of the better rotations in the National League, he's going to see a lot more games against either teams with subpar rotations or, matchbox stadiums. So he's going to get a chance to show off that power stroke even better. He's clutch. He got the big hit in the wild card game to eliminate the Brewers. I think it was in the 8th inning. So I think the sky's the limit still for this kid. I love him. I don't love the team, but I love his talent. I have him in a dynasty league. Maybe that's another reason I want him to be it. But I think the sky's the limit for Juan Soto, and this could be the year he hits the MVP.
I think that's a really strong choice. It's actually going to be hard to argue against it. I think Juan Soto is absolutely someone that I would put money on in Vegas to take it. And I don't even like Juan Soto that much, and mostly because I can't stand the adjustments he makes in the batter's box. I cannot watch that guy hit. It makes me insane. I like watching him, I like watching his stats tally up if I have him on a team. But, I've also been of this attitude that, I don't like having people on my fantasy teams that I can't watch in the box. So I think this year I'm not going to be able to draft him because after watching the postseason, and yes, I am an Astros fan, I just can't stand watching him bat. So I think even though he may be the MVP, I won't be rostering him. And just to stay on that note, you know what? I'm going to go with an Astro.
Whoa.
Yeah, I am. It's okay.
It's like we knew it was coming.
It's like you knew it was coming. But I'm not going to go with Jose Altuve. And I'm not going to go with Alex Bregman.
Oh, that's where I was expecting to go.
I'm going George Springer. Here's why.
Right. Hit me with
if it weren't for those 40 games that he missed with injury, I think we would be talking about him being the AL MVP. He was on pace for over 50 homers with 125 RBI and 125 runs. He had 39 homers and a 974 OPS in just 122 games played. He has found his rhythm. And argue what you want about cheating and trash can banging and all of that. If you believe the commissioner's report, that wasn't happening in 2019. And the guy is only getting stronger and stronger. He's age 30, perfect time. Number 2, I'm going to have the same reasoning you did for Juan Soto. I love who they're going to be playing in the NL West. First of all, they're going to be batting in Coors. They're going to be batting at Chase Field. And the Rockies pitchers, come on. That's going to be amazing for the Astros and specifically for George Springer. And if you remember correctly, this guy is absolutely a postseason gem. We're moving the whole season back a little bit. So if it continues that he does really well, if he happens to just always play really well in September and October, that gives me even more reason to think this guy could catch fire and be an AL MVP. Number 3, he's due for a new contract. Houston says they're interested in him, but come on, he has so much to play for. Even more to play for because it might be a little harder for other teams to want to sign him due to the reputation of the Houston Astros. So he needs to really prove that he has it going. And to be honest, I think he's the hero that the Houston Astros could use and baseball could use to see him coming back from the dark side, if you will. For some reason, he doesn't seem to be the one that gets the most ire in this scandal. Everyone seems to want to blame Bregman and Altuve. I'm not really sure why George Springer escaped it, especially because he was the MVP of the 2017 World Series. But either way, I think that George Springer is a guy that I'm keeping my eye on to really make a run for MVP this year.
Decent choice. I think Bregman and Altuve get the most because of their interviews after it kind of all broke. They were both kind of like, whatever. Yeah, we did it. And there wasn't a. I think people
Altuve was not like, yeah, whatever. Well, we did it. And in fact, Carlos Correa was stated as saying Altuve was the one who didn't do it. I really don't. And you guys can at me all you want, but you guys need to give little Altuve a break. Bregman, fine. You can go at him.
Well, Altuve with the tattoo and the shirt. I mean, like. That's and I don't hate. I could care less about this scandal. It's mostly Yankee fans and Dodger fans, the teams that they beat. I don't care, but I'm telling you, at least from hearing the New York perspective, since I'm here and I'm stuck listening to sports radio, that's what it was. Everyone's after Altuve for the shirt and all the phony tattoo story that he told. I think that's why he gets. Plus he hit that home run off Chapman and was like, whoa, you knew it was coming.
Altuve didn't tell a phony tattoo story. He never told that story.
The home run off Chapman was a fastball letter high that I could have hit out of the park.
Yeah.
So anyway, good choice.
Yeah. Thank you. You're still going with Juan Soto. I think if I had to pick, I think you actually do win this one, Ryan. I think Soto probably is the way, but I love the dark horse pick of George Springer. I know he's not going to be a popular pick, but I think there's a lot of potential there. Final question, possibly the most important question of this video today. What is the best ballpark food? I'll go first.
Okay.
I'm going to say it is ice cream in a cap.
I knew it.
Number one, it's ice cream. You're at a ball game. It's hot. And guess what? You don't need to be hungry to eat ice cream. You can always eat ice cream. So it's a classic. And if you're in Texas, your ice cream can be Bluebell, which is the greatest ice cream in the country. Homemade right there in Brenham, Texas. But even if you're doing soft serve, even if you're doing Carvel, I don't care. Who doesn't want ice cream on a hot day at the park? Number two, a helmet. Come on. It's a helmet. You're supporting your team. You have something to take home. It's a souvenir. It's absolutely classic. Number three, the helmet can be reused. So it's not even just something at the ballpark. You can go home. When I was a kid, I would ask for my ice cream in a helmet for years. We had a stack of helmets, but I would say not the Yankees helmet. I do not want the Yankees helmet because I grew up in Dallas. So we had a lot of Rangers helmets. We had Yankees helmets too, which by the way, I'm glad they put an end to that at parks. Like, don't put the other team's helmet in there as an option. Okay, maybe you should for those people that are there too. But don't just give it to the poor kids that are obviously from Texas and not rooting for the Yankees. Why do I have Yankees helmets in my cabinet? Anyway, I still took them home because it's cool to eat your ice cream out of a helmet. Also, if you have a very small pocket beagle, which I did only a few years ago, I would actually bring home the helmet and then pose with the little helmet on my dog, and I thought it was really cute and really cool. So that's what I'm going with. I'm going with the greatest ballpark food is ice cream and a helmet. You're up, Ryan Hallam.
My only problem with the ice cream and the helmet is how many times if you're taking it home do you stick your hand in the ice cream or it kicks over or what do you have to rinse it out and then bring it back? It's kind of a mess.
With a beer. Like you're not going to kick over a beer? How many beers have been spilled or kicked over? What, you're really holding the beer the whole time? I'm holding my ice cream the whole time.
They have cup holders in chairs now. And no, you don't. You drink it.
Why would you put down your ice cream? Why would you ever put it down?
When you're done, there's still some remnants in the bottom is what I'm saying. What do you do for the rest of the game?
Yeah, you put it down, and then you take it home and you rinse it out. No big deal.
I had a hard time with this one. It was two that I really, really wanted, and I'm going to finally go. I'm going to land on the soft pretzel. And here's my three reasons why. The first one, salt. Lots of salt. If you eat a ballpark pretzel, you're probably going to have your blood pressure rise at least 20 points, if not a heart attack, because they basically it's like they just put in the entire vat of salt and just yank it out, and there's more salt than there is pretzel. I don't know how the ballpark gets it to stick more than any other thing, but it's like the biggest chunks of salt possible. It's the only thing you taste. If you can bite into it, it's kind of disgusting, but at the end, it's good. Everybody likes salt, right? It's yummy, yummy salt. Number two, back to the beer. Sops up the alcohol. It's a lot of bread. Everyone drinks a couple brews at the ball game. What if you pregame before you go in? I do that. And then you have a couple more when you're in there. You need a little something to get you through so you're not the guy falling out of the upper deck in the 8th inning. And that's what the pretzel is going to give you over ice cream. Ice cream, it just there's no density to it. You need the bread products to get in the stomach and help you get through the end of the game. And word to the wise, at the end of the 6th inning, buy 2 beers because they stopped selling towards the end. I think it's the 7th inning stretch, so you're not left empty-handed in the last inning. Number 3, it's the most bang for your buck. Hot dogs are great. They're a classic ballpark food, but it's like 2-3 bites and it's gone. Ice cream is fine, but it can be a little messy. And for you lactose intolerant people, you don't really want to have like an episode like that at the ballpark. I mean, I don't know what your women's rooms look like at the ballpark, but the men's room is like, it's like when like Robin Williams got dropped in Jumanji and then like a tornado goes off. It's the most vile place on the face of the planet is the men's room at a baseball ballpark. So soft pretzel, you get a lot of food. It's delicious. It's salty. Sops up the alcohol. It's the perfect food. And it's like a lot. You know, a lot of things that they sell at the ballpark, it's like 2-3 bites and it's gone. There's not enough food. Soft pretzel, you're going to be there for an inning or so, gnawing that thing down and getting rid of all the salt. So that to me was the best ballpark food. But
there's no souvenir that goes along with it. It's not like 2 for 1. Like once the pretzel's gone, the pretzel's gone.
You have your memories for that. Your souvenirs all come here. Now, by the way, I can also see Rick Piacenti, by the way, follow him on Twitter at Rick Piacenti, putting ice cream in a helmet for you.
Well, actually, Rick Piacenti is the one that first got me ice cream in a helmet, and he's a hero for that. And after we went to the Astros World Series, we celebrated the game that we won by having an ice cream sundae bar with hats, you know, to put it in. We had whipped cream, cherries, toppings, Bluebell, all kinds of stuff. Because, I mean, that is celebratory, right, to have it in the cap. But are you one of these people that ascribes to dipping your pretzel in a sauce, like a cheese or a ranch or something, or do you just eat it straight?
Straight. I mean, I can, but no. Then you're getting into more mess. That was like my other choice was going to be like chicken tenders, because that's a lot of food also, and some bang for your buck, and also good for the alcohol. And I was going to bring up ketchup because I know how much you don't like that, but I ended up going with the soft pretzel. No, I just straight pretzel for me.
So neither of us picked a protein item. We both went straight for the carbs. But here's my question. After you're done with the pretzel, wouldn't you want to have some ice cream in a cup?
You know, I'm really not the biggest ice cream person in the world. If I never had ice cream again for the rest of my life, I would really be okay. I enjoy it. I have it here and there, but it's not my favorite thing in the world.
You guys remember this is the last time I talked to Ryan Hallam. It was a fun friendship. What do you mean?
I don't have a sweet tooth,
really. If this is the last time you ever had ice cream, how can you not love ice cream? What's wrong with you, man?
It's okay. I don't really have a sweet tooth. Give me like a chip.
It's the same man who's never had a Pop-Tart, right?
Yeah,
this is the problem.
That's true, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to have some. It's my daughter's birthday. We're going to have some ice cream later. But if I didn't have it.
Daughter's having an ice cream cake, for God's sakes. She told me.
Love ice cream.
Morgan and I are pals, you know. Just like you and Rick Piacenti, me and Morgan. We're like that.
She's not on Twitter.
She wants an ice cream cake. You better get it for her. You get her a cap, too. All right, Ryan Hallam. I'm going to call myself the winner on this one because, again, I'm the one running the show, so I get to call the shots. And next week, we'll let you host. And you can declare yourself the winner of all. So we have decided that Larry Fitzgerald needs to go. He's the one that needs to just get lost for now, for fantasy purposes at least. And I guess for Jerry Rice's ego as well. Number 2, I think Juan Soto probably is a very likely candidate for MVP in the shortened season, and he is very talented. But keep your eye on dark horse George Springer. And you guys should get a pretzel and ice cream in a helmet. There's no reason you can't have both next time you're at the ballpark. Please, God, let that come sooner than later. Ryan Hallam, thank you so much for joining me today. You guys follow Fantasy Alarm, follow at Fighting Chance on Twitter, on Facebook, on Twitch. Where else are we? YouTube. Follow on YouTube. And let us know what your favorite ballpark food is. We will catch you next time.